Hello guys, Armand here from Shrimp Stop. Today we're going to have a look at hands down the best algae eater in the fish keeping hobby. Of course we're talking about Caridina Multidentata, or like most people in the hobby know them as Amano Shrimp. To give you a brief history, Amano Shrimp were introduced in the aquarium hobby by Amano in the early 1980s. It is also from him where they got their name. Amano used them in most of his aquascapes because they feed primarily on most types of algae that we get in our aquascapes. One of the big differences between Amano shrimp and other shrimp that we keep is their breeding cycle. Amano shrimp, like other shrimp, breed in fresh water. The female also molts and releases pheromones in the water for the males to follow. They then breed, and the fertilized eggs move down the head to under the tail. This is where the similarities stop. Amano shrimp can carry hundreds, even thousands of eggs depending on the size and age of the female. After about 5 to 6 weeks, the female will release the eggs. This is where the second big difference comes in. Amano shrimps go through a larva stage. In the wild, the larvae are washed out to sea, where the Amano larva metamorphosizes to shrimps after about 30 to 40 days. If you want to attempt to breed them, please remember that only the larva must go into marine water within 48 hours. Please keep the adults in fresh water. As with everything in nature, there is always a flip side. So, seeing that breeding of them is so difficult, at least we get a much longer lifespan than with any other shrimp. I've had some in my tanks for over 6 years and there is no sign of them slowing down breeding. Some people have had them for over 8 years. Look, let's be honest, Amano shrimp are not the nicest looking shrimp there is, but you don't get them for their looks. We get them for their algae eating potential, and these guys just don't stop. The other big positive is their size they get to. Usually over 5 to 6 centimeters, and that's about 2 inches. This, with a wide range of parameters that they can stay in, enable us to put them in bigger tanks with bigger fish. Now this part I recorded over a few days period so you can have an idea of how efficiently these guys clean algae. Unlike other shrimp, the speed, amount and different types of algae these guys can go through are unmatched. Amano eats string, hair, blackbeard and most other types of algae without any help from a hobbyist. And you don't need a lot of them to keep your tank clean. I usually add about 5 to my aquascapes. This tank is in such a bad state as the CO2 ran out over the holidays, and as you might know, if CO2 runs out in a high-tech tank, you get really bad algae blooms. The water parameters that they can stay with is the same as Caridina shrimp, where the tank temperature can range from 18 to 28 degrees, or that's between 60 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. They are more active at higher temperatures, but this will definitely shorten their lifespan. They prefer a pH of about 6.5 to 7.5. I will say these guys are as tough, if not more so, than cherry shrimp. But please keep an eye on your CO2 levels if you're running a high-tech tank. The other thing you must please keep in mind is that Amano shrimps are a bit crazy. They don't mind climbing out of your tank, so if you have a rimless tank, please drop the water level by a few centimeters for the first few weeks. If you're going to keep them in tanks with other shrimp, please note that they are extremely aggressive eaters. They have no problem running in, taking food for themselves, pushing other shrimps to the side and walking away. You can see this in one of my previous videos. If you're going to feed them processed foods, it might have an effect on their algae eating abilities in the long run, because it's easier for them to eat food than it is to go eat algae. It might be a better idea, if you've got algae problems in multiple tanks, to have them in their own tank where you can just move hardscapes or plants over for them to clean. Alternatively, move them to an affected tank, have them clean it out and just move them back to their own tank. The only algae that Amano really struggle with is spot algae that forms on the glass or hardscapes. For this, we would advise you get nearite snails. A complete algae fighting force would consist of Amano, nearite snails and Otocinclus catfish. Finally, just a word of caution when getting some, please be aware we get a lot of fake Amanos in the hobby. Either the seller or the breeder didn't know better, or you get people actively trying to mislead you. If you're unsure, just ask for pics of the shrimp. Amano have a very unique pattern, so you can usually spot if it's a true Amano or not. Where the males have spots running up and down their sides, the female spots are combined, so it looks like dashes and lines. Thanks for watching to the end. Please remember to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification and share the video please. If you'd like to see any of our other videos, please have a look here or here. Thanks and goodbye.